thanks for dropping by at the homestead. Guys, you might know we have a new homestead, and so I have moved my raised bed. So I want to talk to you about the proper way of making a raised bed. Now, first thing I did, because this grass is invasive here, and I don't like to use any kind of weed killer or stuff around my house unless it becomes necessary in certain areas. In this area right here, the way this grass is, I knew I was going to have a major problem unless I was able to till it up. So one of the proper ways is, first of all, is make sure you do something with the grass. Because grass is just going to creep through the soil. And so I had to put some weed killer out here. It's been sitting here for a couple of weeks. And so the other way is to take your tiller and till it up and get all the grass out as much as possible. So the next thing I did was that you want to make sure that you've got the four ends of your corners secured, not only with screws, with blocks of wood, so that when this soil is put in the bed and it starts expanding out and pushing out, it's not going to push your boards away from the nails or the screws that you may be using. Now in this bed, I use screws and nails. The purpose of that is when I was putting it together, it was easier at that point in time to use some nails. And maybe I'm old-fashioned, old school. I was raised up with everything with screws, that you literally use nails. It is extremely hot here. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, and I am sweating so bad. But let me take you over here and show you these corners. So here you see that I've got the corners secured, and I actually put in extra screws just to make sure that these corners here are supported. Down here you see 1/4 inch hardware wire throughout the bed here, and the purpose of that is because of rats, rodents, mice, whatever you decide to put in here. If you put potatoes, these types of animals have a tendency to tunnel in the ground. And I've had a couple bites on some potatoes one time, and that's because I forgot to put this hardware wire down. This time I'm going to make sure that this is down. Once I got the dirt in, I was like, or soil, however you want to call it, on the southeast coast of North Carolina, we call it dirt. But anyways, once I got the dirt in the bed, then I was like, oh man, I forgot that. But I didn't have too much of a problem. This is a new area, so whenever you go to a new area, you want to be prepared. You want to make sure that you covered all corners, so that you don't have to tear up and redo again. And that's the purpose of why I made sure that I've got this hardware wire down this time. As you can see, this right here, it killed the grass, and because this grass is so invasive, you still see greenery in there. So that's something. I just know this area, and I know how this grass is, and this is something I choose to do. Now we're fixing to head into fall, and so the beds are pretty much going to be sitting here. They might be sitting here. I got a lot to do on the homestead, but my plan at this point in time is that they're going to be sitting here. But the thing of it is get these beds done. I do have garlic, and I do have onions that have bulbs that I have dug up from the other homestead, and so they're going to be placed in here. We'll get some more hardware wire put there. I decided to go ahead and just do it the proper way, so I don't have to have down the road wish I had them. So I've got some garlic and onion bulbs. With that being said, it's going to take a little time for those roots to expand out. This is topsoil. So I'm going to go back in here. I think I'm going to put some cow manure in here. I'm going to put some fertilizer. I'm going to mend this soil is what I'm saying. You mend your soil the way that you see proper. Also, the first thing I'm going to do is do a pH test. I want to know what's going on with this. How much iron it's got, everything. I want to know what's going on with it before I even start. So you want to do a pH test before you start really doing anything else. With this being topsoil, I'm sure a little bit of cow manure, but with doing this pH test, I know exactly what to put in there, and I'm not going to be lacking in things for my future growth here into these beds. So now it's time to test the pH. Original plan was to lay a tarp, a weed barrier down here and smother out this grass, which would probably take, to really do it right, probably a couple months, definitely 6 weeks, no doubt. It just depends on really the thickness of your grass. But since I've got bulbs of onions and garlic that I've had for a couple years, you know, I don't want to lose them. They've been sitting out of the ground for about 3 weeks or so, and I know this will be okay. To put it like this, I know it'll get me through. We've had a lot of rain. That's why all the grass didn't die, but and that's okay. The purpose was just to pretty much get this grass, because it's such a invasive, thick, running grass that it's just about impossible unless you did till up the ground, smother it out somehow away. So I think this is going to be okay. I'm giving it the bulbs a good depth and keep from losing them bunching onions and elephant ear garlic and another variety of garlic. So now it's pH time.